My Heart Knows Saturday the 19th of March 2022 Be full update. Make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell to get notified for more updates. Without wasting your time, let's start our today update. Malhar tells Kalyani that phone is switched off now and tells that something is wrong for sure and asks Rao to ask the tracking team to be alert. Ahir says how can phone go missing from here? Asawari says it is good, but we have to search the phone. Aao Saheb says how can that woman's phone came in our house? Anupriya says maybe I brought it after murdering that woman and put phone in the pot. She says Malhar and Kalyani shall not know. Aao Saheb says I still can't believe it. Anupriya says she has to leave tomorrow. Anupriya tells Malhar that until now they couldn't know why Aai is marrying Adinath. Anupriya asks her to believe her and says you both are worried for me and don't believe my truth. She says I want to marry Adinath with my wish and says whatever I told you was in anger. She says Adinath is a good guy and tomorrow he will take me from here. Kalyani cries badly. Anupriya also cries and goes. Malhar comes to Kalyani and asks her to wipe her tears. Kalyani says she can't believe that Aai has chosen someone else and not Kaka. Malhar says I understand and asks her not to cry. He says maybe Aai wants to marry Adinath and we shall be happy and support her, rather than doubting her. Kalyani comes to Anupriya and says I will not question you anything now. I just want to see you happy. I have troubled you a lot, was concerned about your happiness. Anupriya says I am really very happy and hugs her. Pallavi says she brought all the stuff except one. Kalyani asks about Mundawa. Aao Saheb tells her. Kalyani makes it for Anupriya and asks Aao Saheb if it is fine. Aao Saheb says yes. Kalyani asks Anupriya if she will come and meet her and hugs her. Aao Saheb asks Anupriya to sleep and says tomorrow we have to go to Kuldavai's temple. She realizes asking Anupriya to go to Solapur from there. Kalyani says even she will come with them. Aao Saheb refuses to take Kalyani and says your Saja will shout at us. Asawari says I will handle him and will also come with you all. Kalyani thanks and hugs Asawari. Asawari comes to Madhav and tells that she is going with Anupriya and will not let her elope to Solapur. Athav come and says I came to know everything, why Nani is marrying. He calls Kalyani and asks her to see the video in the cam. He plays the video, just then Madhav takes stick and starts beating him badly. Kalyani tries to stop him. Madhav says how dare Athav touched my bahu and hits stick on his hand, making the camera fall and break. Kalyani stops Madhav and says Athav is a boy and calls her Aai. Madhav says you will not become his Aai. He says I will beat him more. Sarthak comes and stops Madhav and says Athav is mentally ill and regards Kalyani as his mother. Madhav acts and says I can't see him touching my bahu. Sarthak says he don't understand what you are saying and asks him to stop it. Pallavi comes and asks why did he beat her brother. She angrily takes Athav from there. Athav shouts Aai. Kalyani cries. Madhav goes. Asawari apologizes to Kalyani on Madhav's behalf and goes. Kalyani says I will tell Malharji and is about to call him, but Anupriya stops him and asks if she is mad. She says you have to handle the house and not Malhar. She says will you complain to him about his barber. She says I won't be with you to explain after today. Kalyani asks what do you mean? Anupriya says I will not stay here after marriage. Aao Saheb asks her to get ready to go to temple. Malhar asks Shekhar, artiste designed to make sketch of the woman who was seen near the pond. Shekhar recalls his conversation with Anupriya and tells Malhar that he was unwell so couldn't make sketch. Malhar asks if he is joking and says you will not move from here until you make the sketch. Shekhar gets tensed. Anupriya tells Aao Saheb that she can't come here again. Adinath asks how to handle Asawari and Kalyani. Just then Asawari and Kalyani come there. Kalyani says let's go. They go from there. Anupriya throws the rice grains and thinks she is leaving the house, due to all her responsibilities. Anupriya, Adinath, Kalyani and others coming to temple. Anupriya prays to God to give her power that she can go to police station and surrender, but don't let her know that I am a criminal. Kalyani prays for Anupriya's happiness. Rao comes and tells Malhar that the number must not be registered on anyone's names. Shekhar stops making sketch. Malhar scolds him. Malhar asks him to find out about the call list. Rao goes. Kalyani gives betel leaves to Aao Saheb, says it is gold. Aao Saheb blesses her. Kalyani hugs Anupriya and gives betel leaves to Adinath and Asawari. Kalyani hugs Anupriya. She tells Asawari that she got a good bahu. Asawari says you said right. Pandit Ji comes and says marriage arrangements is done and asks Aao Saheb to make the groom and bride ready. Kalyani asks marriage and says we came here for puja. Aao Saheb says Pandit Ji said that whoever marries at this Mahurat of Dussehra then their life will be prosperous and happy. Adinath and Anupriya agree with Aao Saheb. Kalyani says we have done many arrangements at home, can we go home and come? Pandit Ji says there is less time. Malhar checks the call list of the mobile number and asks Parwa to check Anupriya's call list on the 26th of July. Shekhar, sketch artiste, hears and gets tensed. Aao Saheb asks Kalyani to make Anupriya ready. Kalyani says okay. Asawari calls Madhav and tells that Anupriya will go straight to Solapur police station from here. She says she will take Anupriya's life. Sarthak comes to Atharv. Atharv thinks Madhav came and asks him not to beat him. Sarthak asks him to calm down and says he will not beat him. Atharv tells that he stole his Baba's cam and watched the video in which his nanny, Anupriya, was telling why she is marrying Adinath, which she don't want. He says when he told Madhav that he will tell nanny then he started beating him. Sarthak tries to repair the phone being worried for her. Aao Saheb digs the land and buries the phone. Asawari comes and takes out the phone, calls Ahir and tells that Anupriya is trapped badly and thinking herself as the murderer. Rao brings the call list of Anupriya's phone. Malhar checks and says Mayi called on that number 4 times. Shekhar gets tensed and says the sketch is ready. Malhar looks at the sketch and gets shocked. Sarthak repairs the phone. Atharv says this is the video. Sarthak watches the video in which Anupriya is misunderstanding herself to be a murderer and telling Aao Saheb that she will surrender to police. Sarthak says Anupriya Ji is having a big misunderstanding and thinks she committed the murder. He says he won't let her surrender and ruin her life. Malhar asks Shekhar to go and calls Kalyani. Kalyani says Aai is looking beautiful. Malhar tells her that Aai is not marrying with her wish and asks her to listen. Kalyani asks Anupriya to go and says she will come. She talks to Malhar. Malhar tells her something. Kalyani is shocked and says Aai can't be a murderer. She says Aai thinks twice before killing a mosquito, she never raised hand on anyone and says you know her. Malhar says I know and tells that Mayi must be thinking that she is a murderer and that's why marrying Adinath so that she can surrender. He asks her not to let the marriage happen. Kalyani says but marriage is happening. He asks her to stop and says he is coming there. Pandit Ji asks Adinath and Anupriya to make each other wear garland. Kalyani comes and shouts asking them to stop. Thanks for watching, make sure you subscribe, and click on the notification bell to get notified for more updates, like, comment and share. To change your